You know, you'd think that you people would know what the definition of polygamy is and what polygamy is about, but people still seem to remain completely ignorant about polygamy and what it's all about. 2 years ago, a Christian pastor made headline news when he admitted to being married to two women. His Need I remind you, this man was 61 years old. His first wife is actually 15 years younger than him, and his second wife is actually 19 years old. Now, all around the internet, whether it's on Barcroft TV or even on the Dr. Phil show, people seem to express nothing but pure outrage over this. People were wondering if he was Mormon, but he admitted that he was simply Christian. Not to mention, they accused him of being a pedophile, some child molester or whatever, just because he knew that other girl who was 19 years old since she was a child. But when she became 18 or 19 years old, they called him a pedophile. Last I checked, the pedophile was someone who is actually attracted to prepubescent children. And last I checked, 19 years of age, that's an adult by law. You see, I find it funny. This man, he's married to two women. It's not like he's sleeping around, putting himself at risk for catching sexually transmitted diseases. But if it's someone like Hugh Hefner, who happens to be a man who's in his early 90s, still he has been sleeping around with women who are young enough to be his great granddaughters since he was in his mid 70s. But somehow that's not considered dirty. If people like Hugh Hefner do something that's 10 times worse or more extreme than someone who practices polygamy, somehow that's actually considered, okay. By society standards, yeah, it's okay. He's just sleeping around with a whole bunch of hoochie mamas like the whore that he is. And it's actually okay when someone like Kim Kardashian cheats on her husband, ex-husband, Chris Humphreys, who was only in it for the money, and she got pregnant with Kanye West while she was married to that basketball player by the name of Chris Humphreys. And keep in mind, I just remembered that's his name. I just looked it up. But it's not okay if a man is married to two women, knowing full well that the only people he's sleeping with are the two women that he's married to. You see, he's not sleeping around and, being on whoring himself out to the whole block. And he's not putting himself at risk for catching sexually transmitted diseases unless he, was willing to sleep with both of his wives at the same time, which I'm pretty sure he wouldn't, which I'm pretty sure he's not doing because he never mentioned that he did that. So, moral point of this video is that society and people in general, they seem to turn a blind eye. They're not okay with one thing that they considered extreme, but on the other hand, they're foolish enough to think that something else that's more extreme over the other is actually considered okay. It's actually considered morally just. You can't say that someone like Hugh Hefner can sleep around with a whole bunch of women every 4 to 6 years or whatever, but yet you have a man who's 61 years old who's married to one wife who's 15 years younger than him, and he's married to another wife who's 19 years of age. That's actually okay because that's still considered being with an adult. And it's all consensual at the end of the day. So next time you hear about someone who was married to more than one spouse, make sure you know what you're talking about before you say anything bad about it. Because if you think polygamy is disgusting and bad, maybe you should know what the point of it is. And for those of you who are religious, look in your head. Just keep in mind that historical figures and even religious figures have practiced polygamy. That's a fact. I don't care what anyone says. I hope you learned something from this video. I hope you can actually think about what I just said. Take care.